On episode 10 of Office Hours with Dr. Guy, we're going to talk about backgrounds, conclusion, theoretical frameworks again, and how to get a free laptop sticker. Bring your questions to Office Hours with Dr. Guy. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Guy, and I want to welcome you to episode 10. And I am just so excited being back with you after a long hiatus. Lots has happened since you and I have last spoke, and so I'm glad to be here with you. I think chiefly my latest class of the dissertationmentor.com graduates have started working with me at thedissertationmentor.com, and I'm having just a great time working with them, and they've been taking up a lot of my time. And back to the show, I've just gotten a huge swell of comments that have come through over the last few weeks, and I was just sitting here and I'm realizing if I did not take care of this soon, then something would be majorly wrong with me. So I'm a man of my word, and I promise as long as you send me questions, I'm going to keep sending these videos. And to that aim, I want to tell you that these stickers, stickers like this sticker, there's another sticker or two that's floating out there. These are laptop stickers, and I'm giving these out for free to people that are interested in what I have to offer by going and registering for thedissertationmentor.com. It's free, thedissertationmentor.com, and if after a couple days, you're going to get a survey. And if you fill out that survey, include your snail mail address, and I will make sure that I send this to you. As long as supplies last, and as long as I have these, I will send them out. And when I run out, I won't be able to send them anymore. But chances are, if you're one of the first few hundred to sign up, I think that you'll probably be fine. But I would love to send you a laptop sticker just as a thanks for being part of this community. They have good, I think, interesting sayings about dissertation stuff. This one says, "Mission, destroy dissertation." And if you'd be interested in putting something like that on your laptop, and even better, sending me a picture of you with your laptop with that sticker or a sticker like it, I'd love that. If not, don't worry about it. So let's answer some of your questions. Janelle asks, how do I write the background section of the study? Janelle, hello and welcome to the show. The background section of the study is an area that eludes many doctoral candidates because, for most of us that are writing a dissertation, there's an introduction section followed by a background section followed by a problem statement section, and finally followed typically by a purpose statement or naming the aims and objectives of the study. But for most of us, it's a purpose statement. So how do I go from intro to background to problem statement, and what are the differences between those areas? I mean, in the most basic sense, the introduction section is just what's the big issue in the world right now? Like, what's the big reason or the big subject that's out there that has everybody's attention? And so if you think about the most broad topic, for example, if you're doing something about school leadership, maybe there was a law that was recently passed about schools. Maybe there's a new set of school standards that is out there, and it has everybody's attention. And so in the intro section, you're basically saying this subject has the attention of everybody. And from there, you need to narrow us down to a general concern that is out there in the world that is a little bit more specific than that bigger concern. So there are brand new standards out in the world, but the general concern is that people are implementing those standards in different ways. And so notice the big thing is the standards are out there, and the more specific, the general concern from that is people are implementing these standards in different ways. So the background section starts by naming the general concern that narrows down that big idea into a little bit more of a bite-sized piece. What out of that is a more general concern that we should be looking at? Now, through the background section, you need to narrow us down further. The problem statement section, that is the next section down, starts with a specific problem that your study is going to be focusing on, which means that your background section should get us from your general concern and narrow us down to a specific problem that your dissertation is going to deal with. It should be about 8 paragraphs long, in my opinion. That's what I typically see in well-written dissertations. And every paragraph should start out with one sentence that just tells us what that paragraph is about. So here's an exercise for you, Janelle. Try to write 8 sentences that gets us from a general concern to a specific problem. And those are your first sentences for your background section. Amin asks, how do I write a conclusion? Amin, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me and for your kind comments in my previous videos. How do you write a conclusion? First, it completely depends on what is the norm for dissertations in your program, and also what is the norm for dissertations written for your chair, and also what are the norms written in your program for your chair for the methodology that you've selected. Now, how in the world do you find out what those norms are? Well, first you need to hop on ProQuest Dissertations and Theses, or you need to hop on, what's that other one called? There's one in Europe. It starts with an E. I'm drawing a blank. Ethos, that's what it's called. Ethos is a database that's in Europe or in the United Kingdom that also holds many dissertations and theses as well. And essentially what you want to do is you want to go to advanced search in both of those, and you want to type in the name of your school. You want to start there. Type in the name of your school, and then hit search. You'll notice in the advanced search, you can narrow by university. So you want to find your university first. So you'll find thousands of dissertations probably published within your university, maybe a few hundred published within your university. That tells you that you got the system working for you. And what you can do then is you can look at names of professors that are in your program, and you can download similar dissertations that are using the similar methodology as yours, and you can see what their conclusion section looked like. How did they format that section in your program for your methodology? Once you have that, now it's your task to go into that advanced search again. You're looking for your university, and there's typically an advisor section, and you want to type in the last name of your advisor, and you want to pull down all the dissertations that are done by your advisor. Now, naturally, if you can't do that, that is, you can't narrow by advisor, I encourage you to simply go through the list of all the dissertations from your program or in your school and pull the ones with the last name that's by your chair. If you can't find any, there's the possibility that your chair has never had a student finish a dissertation. So for that reason, either way, you want to look at what are the norms that other people in your program have written. What are the norms that other people in your program have written in Chapter 5? And for your program, for your methodology, and if you can get there, also for your chair, what does the format look like? And as you're looking through that, just ask yourself, what sections appear in all of these? So those are the common sections that need to go in every single Chapter 5. By the way, or Chapter 6, depending on what type of dissertation you're doing. But either way, you want to look also at your dissertation handbook created by your university, or your dissertation format created by your university, to see if they have specific demands for Chapter 5. And the last thing about your conclusions is you want to then go through and look at where did citations, I should say, appear in Chapter 5 in your conclusion section, and what's the relationship between the results and the citations that are drawn in from the literature? Because many of the conclusions you're going to find not only present the most notable results, but it critiques the results against the literature. And that, Amin, is the number one thing that I want you to know in your conclusion section is, besides the formatting issue and finding the norms, also knowing that you're going to be looking at comparing and contrasting your findings with the findings of the literature as it already exists. So go out there, use those databases, and go find those norms. Mary asks, what is the minimum and maximum number of theories that I can use in a dissertation? Mary, a pleasure. Thank you for your ongoing comments and for being engaged as a member of our community. And so I imagine you're saying theoretical frameworks, and by theories you mean theoretical frameworks. And so I'm going to approach it from that sort of angle. How many theoretical frameworks can you utilize in your dissertation? I would say the norm that I see typically is between 1 and 3. Now, your school, your program might have a different definition than I do of a theoretical framework. In my mind, a theoretical framework is the way of looking at your data, at your subject matter, at your topic of your theory areas. It's the way of looking at your study. So I would select one way of looking at my study, one theory that I could apply to be the way by which I can narrow down my understanding of the results, and also provide a guide by which that I can do my interviews, I can create my surveys, I can collect the data, things like this. So typically, and why I made my glasses go like that a minute ago is because I often say in my many other videos that for me, the theoretical framework is is the lens that I put on to more clearly see what I'm studying. Because if I don't have the clarity of a lens, it's just unfocused and I don't know where I'm going. Now, I've seen many dissertations in many programs use many theoretical frameworks, 2 or 3. And I think the clear question you need to ask, not just your advisor, but a research faculty member at your school, is what in dissertations in your program is a theoretical or a conceptual framework? What is the purpose of that? Why is it there? Now, if you're asking me more in a general sense, how many theories are discussed in, like for example, your literature review, my response to that is, in the literature review, you're going to talk about every major theory in the history of your theory area, narrowing us down to the most recent 5 years or 7 years, and what are the theories or the frameworks that are most common and most important now, most poignant now. And that's where the gap in the research typically appears, is near the end of each section of the literature review, is where the theories and the questions that researchers are asking, there's a point at which we don't have any answers to the questions that they're asking because they're asking them in the last 5 years, and there's no research that's been published to answer the questions of those researchers. So in short, theoretical frameworks, typically 1 to 3, and typically 1, in my view. Talk to your research faculty at your school and ask them what a theoretical framework or conceptual framework is at your school, in your program. And if you're talking about the literature review, you're talking about every major theory that has ever emerged. Mary. Sherman asks, can I talk about my theoretical framework in my methodology chapter? Sherman, welcome to the show, and thank you for your ongoing comments and being a member of the community, sir. Sherman, yes, you can talk about your theoretical framework in your Chapter 3 as long as it's, again, part of the norms of your doctoral program. So you want to make sure that you are downloading all those dissertations, like I mentioned in one of the previous previous questions here in this episode. You want to download all the previous dissertations from your chair, for your program, for your methodology, and you want to see if the theoretical framework is typically something that would appear in a Chapter 3. I see often theoretical frameworks appearing in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, sometimes in Chapter 3, but that's a little bit more rare. So you want to make sure that you download those dissertations from your school and see what is the norm for you and your program. Team, it has been an awesome, lovely episode talking with you and joining you again. Again, if you would like a laptop sticker while these supplies last, right now I have about 300 of these. Go to thedissertationmentor.com, go ahead and register. You'll get a free video from me, And then in a couple days, you're going to get a survey. And when you get that survey, go ahead and fill it out and include, there's a place for your physical address, and I will gladly send you a laptop sticker just as a thanks for being engaged and watching my videos. Just thank you. Thank you for making these episodes worthwhile. I will keep doing these as long as you have questions. Feel free to post questions for me. It's been a great pleasure being back here with you, and I promise episode 11 will not be far behind. Take care now. And make sure you subscribe or like this video because I sleep better when I know that people are watching this show.